Before I get started, I'd like to let you know that as I type out what you're listening to right now, I have no idea how long this video will end up being, but there is a reason for the video portion to be nothing more than a still image, as what I'm going to say is important to me, and I must avoid providing possible distraction, even in the form of the occasional animated eye blink. Lately I've had a single idea, a single concept preoccupy my mind so much so as to make certain other tasks difficult at best, undoable at worst. That concept or idea is truth. I have been pondering the idea of truth as it pertains to my channel since the inception of the channel itself, and have made it my goal to have the presenting, or at least seeking, of truth have some kind of thematic role within every video. While this certainly has escaped a couple of my more recent videos, such as my tribute to Robin Williams or my response to some who had some negative things to say about him, for the most part this is the single idea, if a single idea can be cited, that I hold most important for my channel. It is in my most recent ponderings that I have come to remember that the single most prevalent detail and hindrance to the idea of truth as we as human beings see it is individual perception. We as a collection of individuals attempting to coexist to varying degrees of success and failure see events, experience them, and so on very different from one another. Some so much so that if an individual expresses their perception of a given event, and if what they see as truth is different enough from another's, it could, may, and has resulted in open hostility. Knowing that my own perception of the world is flawed, or at least skewed, by my perceptual filters that change everything my five senses tell me so that it makes sense to me as an individual, I do everything I can to avoid listening to my own senses. I do not know the truth, I merely seek it, and in this seeking I have grown to value it as a treasure to be had. Valuing truth in this manner can be seen most evidently in my infamous response video to Steve Shives, wherein I refute claims he made on the concept of rape culture. It can also be seen in my text and video responses to your comments when you voice disagreement with something I said or something you thought I said. All that being said, valuing truth can have its drawbacks. When consideration for another's feelings is temporarily set aside to try to drive a point of truth home, for example. I recently did this, and may have lost a very dear friend as a consequence. Are there times when truth, or at least perceived truth, is better left untold or unshared? Are there times when it is better to allow someone to live in the dark, or appear to be living in the dark? Is hard truth, blunt truth, a bad thing? Or in the case of my friend, was truth just poorly timed? In the case of my friend, the exposure of truth wasn't my motivation. It was the result thereof. Was this my mistake? Did I make a mistake? These questions, and others like them, are what I seek to answer with my channel. While religion is most certainly the dominant target, this is merely because truth dictates it to be treated as the most dominant, prevailing, and widely believed lie ever told until shown to be otherwise. Truth and the seeking of it is what my channel is about. There are those times I utilize it and my subscribers' willingness to listen to vent about a given issue, but as I've said, truth is the goal. If we do not know the truth, we must seek it. It is more precious and valuable to us as a species than any other concept or idea. Our bodies need oxygen, sustenance, and rest. Our minds need truth. Our minds need truth because it is our minds that dictate our behavior. If we feed our minds falsehoods, pleasant fictions, self-serving opinion, or worst of all, nothing, our behavior will fall in accordance with these lies and self-deceptions. Our behavior will be wrong, incorrect, and in the end, defeating. This was my motivation to expose truth to my friend, to prevent and alleviate self-defeating thought, to prevent the future hardship of her own making, to remedy a current hardship of her own making. Truth isn't nice, it isn't mean, it isn't good or evil, happy or sad, it simply is. Truth is reality. Anything other than truth is an invention. Sometimes people knowingly create these inventions, fabricating fantasy to avoid or cause others not to see truth. These are your prophets, your Bible writers, your opportunists. Sadly enough, these are also some of the most trusted people in the world. I, as an atheist, am near universally untrusted by a large majority. This is the result of the trust this majority places in people undeserving of such trust, the people I respond to in my videos. Even in the case of the previously mentioned infamous Steve Shives video, fallacy and vague references were tools being used in his video, and I merely tried to expose it. I hope that this clears up any misconceptions or ideas about preaching to the choir any may have had. I hope this gives you, my audience, a better idea of what I'm trying to do with this channel. While I try to make each video as entertaining as possible, I also want you to walk away asking questions, seeking truth as I do. And eventually, hopefully, we will find it in every aspect of our lives. We as a species will then be capable of the greatness we already, but untruthfully, claim.